Hello. Hi guys. Welcome to the first stream of the Anachronist. I am the Anachronist. Um, and today we'll be playing some Super Pong whenever the game loads in. So maybe I should first explain what this channel is all about. I'm the Anachronist. The Anachronist means someone who's out of time. I'm basically going to play through a bunch of old retro games because I've never experienced them and uh, too young to have experienced their release. Uh, so I wanted to go back and play through all those old games in their chronological order. And now I could use like an emulator or something for that. But to really get the authentic experience, I figured I'd get the original consoles, which, well, you're hearing right now is the sound of the original Pong console. Um, so over the past few months, I've prepared this, um, and I've got the first console set up now. And we're starting with Pong, or actually Super Pong. So Pong came out in 1975, or the original Pong came out back in 1972, which was an arcade game, and then 3 years later, in 1975, they released the home version of Pong, which was the first widely commercialized video game out there. A year later, because there were like a lot of Pong clones by different companies, Atari responded by making their own sequel to the game, or I think it wasn't even the first sequel, but Super Pong came after in 1976, and it adds 3 whole new game modes. And Super Pong is the console that I got. It's a dedicated console. This console doesn't play any other games. It's just Super Pong. You can see it on the camera below. Here's the console. It's got two joy pads and it's got 4 game modes below here. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. But I think to introduce it, we'll just go and play a game of Pong. Now, technically, it's a multiplayer game, but I'm gonna just be controlling the bet myself. We'll just go through a game. Here we go. And I instantly failed. Now, it takes a while, and it speeds up. I mean, you've probably all seen Pong at some point. It's quite an iconic game, and it's very simple. Yeah. We'll just go play through 1 game of Pong, and I'll show it off. You can see it's in color. I think most people who had this game originally might not have had a color TV, so might not have had the privilege to even see this in color. But we're doing, there's a nice little gradient. To even make this work, we had to modify the Pong console because normally it only sends out like an antenna signal, which can be picked up by certain TVs, but it was very hard to set it up for live streaming. So what we did is we took the console, me with my dad, and we modified it. We built in a little circuit that transforms the signal into AV video out, which then can feed into game capture devices, and that's what you're seeing on screen right now. Hey cat! Also, hello, the autistic nerd, who is currently actually moderating the stream. He's behind the scenes. Well, I mean, I'm just playing through a game of Pong just to show it off at first, and then I'll probably try some other things. I can show off all the game modes, and I can try to practice and get better. and hopefully keep it interesting enough. It does keep speeding up. Like, I should find the manual somewhere to read it, but I think you have like 5 serves before it speeds up, and then it speeds up again after another 5 or 10 serves. There we go. I mean, we can count if I manage to keep the ball in the game. That's 1 bounce, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, at the 4th bounce it speeds up. 5, 6, 7. Okay. If I don't fail, you can see when it speeds up. 2, 3. Look, I got it in a locking pattern. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in the 4th one and on the 8th one, it speeds up. And also the angles are slightly different. When it's going slow, I think the angles are wider that you can shoot it at. And when it's going fast, you get narrower angles. So it's interesting. No, it only has it only speeds up 2 times. It's not like Tetris where it infinitely speeds up. So yeah, left side seems to be winning. I am left-handed, so that makes sense. Now, we're quite far into the game now. The score only goes till 15. Right side is catching up. I'm not trying to have any side win or anything. I'm just trying to keep the ball as long in the game as possible without getting it in like a lockup pattern, which is possible, which I just showed a little bit ago. You just aim it horizontally, not like that. Then you can just get it into a lockup pattern and walk away, and it'll just keep playing itself. But that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make it difficult for myself and still try to keep it in the game as long as possible. Alright, so as you can see, sometimes the game glitches out a bit with this setup. Unfortunately, that's just... I haven't found a way to resolve it. But when it cuts out every 5 or 10 minutes, we just deactivate and reactivate the game capture device, and in about 10-20 seconds, the feed will be back. You can still hear the sound, because the sound is not being recorded by the game capture device, but by the microphone directly. Because this console has built-in speakers. I got it in a lockup pattern now, which is nice. So I don't have to do anything. And when it comes back online, I can continue. Oh, hey Chris, thanks for the follow. I didn't see that yet. Alright. And we can continue. I see. And here we have it. This is a full game of Pong. We played till 15, and this is the end screen. It's a very annoying sound, so I think I'll just restart. And I guess I can show off some of the other game modes, because the original Pong only had this classic game mode right here, where you have these two bats and 1 ball. Super Pong added some more game modes. This classic Pong is actually game mode 4 of the Super Pong console. And I can select the game mode right below here in the console. So if I go to game mode 1, it should not do that. Hold up. I guess game mode 1 Oh, there it is. It's a bit glitchy. Game mode 1 is catch, which is like the opposite of Pong. Instead of trying to get it to hit it back with the bat, you need to try and get it in the hole. There we go. So they added a whole new game mode. And another two, but let's try and do this one first. This is a good one to practice because if you like, you can just leave one side down, and you can just practice with the one hand. Ooh. Right. I see more people have followed me. Hi, Luke. Ranger Stark and Locomotive have also followed my channel, though I'm not sure if Loco already followed it.
Oh, 3 days ago.
Yeah.
It says so. Fury.
Is the hole smaller than the bat? That's a good question. I can check. I think it's the same size. Yeah, it seems to be inverted, so it seems to be the same size. I have noticed that the best way to get points in this game mode is to follow the ball around. So if it goes down, then also move the hole down. Move with it. It doesn't always work. I still need to practice. There we go. So yeah, I can also play this with both sides. Now, there is also a game mode that I should probably play, since I'm playing alone. I should probably play Solitaire, which I think is the second game mode, right here. On Solitaire, you have one bat, and you have one little pole that you can determine the height for. And you can just practice on one side. While the other side is closed, you can just try to keep it in the game as long as possible. Or you can try to aim up high. I mean, I can start by like going halfway, you know, make it easy for myself. Well, at some point, I guess it'll just... Oh no, it does inverse the direction on the next serve. This is a bit too easy, so let's put it at like 3/4. See if I can still get it in. Almost. Now, as you can see, the score is also preserved over the game mode, so if I switch a game mode, it won't reset the score. I'll have to go up to 15, and only then it resets the score. Or I turn the console off and on again, but then it might take a while for OBS to reconnect. Alright. Let's just try and win this. 3/4. So I just need to succeed 6 more times and not fail more than 4 times. So yeah, I'm guessing that the Solitaire mode might be useful for practicing. I don't have a lot of concrete plans for these Pong streams, but I'm thinking I could practice a bit, get better, and see if there's any difference in how good I am right now. So I think next stream, maybe I can invite someone to play along. We can play around it against each other and see how well I do. And after that, practice a bit more. And see if my skill actually increases, or if there's a very low skill ceiling for this game. So that would mean I need a lot of practicing. Okay, I think 3/4 is quite doable, but just there we go. Hey, I won. Alright, now to show off the last game, this is the namesake of this particular console, the Super Pong console. This is Super Pong. You have double bats. You have a back bat and a front bat. It's like tennis. With a player in the back and a player in the front. Which can make for slightly more interesting gameplay than the original Pong. It's because it's doubled up and it can get very fast. And if you get it into a locking pattern here, the sound can get very annoying. Like that. Keep it in the game as long as possible in solitaire. I can try to do that. I need a way to time it though. Okay. Alright. Wait, if I press start game again, will it reset to 0-0? It does not, I'm afraid. I mean, there we go.
No locking patterns, duh.
Okay. It's interesting to see which direction the thing at the right bounces the ball off to, because it's not very, doesn't make a lot of like over there. I think no, maybe it's just a random direction. No, it can't be, because you can get it into a locking pattern. There should be a certain logic to it, which angle it's being reflected at. Alright, let me see how long I can keep it in the game. I can also count, but that can get very annoying.
Or grab your phone and use it as stopwatch.
Well, I guess if the feed cuts out, I can't keep it in for very long.
Well, then you can grab your phone in the meantime.
The phone, the year is 1976, right? There is no phone.
Grab your watch. Grab your pocket watch.
You're very good at this. It does not automatically change the speed. It only updates the speed twice in the game. Like after the first 4 hits, it speeds up once, and then another 4 hits, and it speeds up again. I don't think the game is advanced enough to have increased difficulty the longer you play it for. Like the only increased difficulty is the speed up. Alright, and now it's at full speed. Oh, that's also an interesting pattern. If I do have it at full speed, and I get it into the upper corner, it bounces back, but then it goes horizontal again, and I guess you get a sort of locking pattern out of that. Almost. I see Ryan behind the screens is now timing the actual runs, and I can see it on a little window. So I went for 20 seconds just now. Right, let's focus. Oh, look, it's not a locking pattern, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Oh, I kinda meant to. Also, this game is unwinnable. Once I got it all the way up at the top, I can't even score a single point. I'm losing. Yeah, I am losing to solitaire. There's no winning in solitaire. I mean, there is winning in solitaire. I can just do this, you know. You see, and when you lose, you get the serve. So I can just like kind of sit back and relax and win without doing anything. I see we have another follower. Ramiro, thanks for the follow. I feel like I know who you are.
I hope you do, otherwise that was very creepy.
I have a sneaking suspicion that that name sounds somewhat familiar. Oh. See, this is scary because if I mess up, I lose. It's not hard, but if I mess up once, I lose because the other player is at 14 points. And I still need to score 4 more points. Okay, well that's easy. If it goes over there, let me just make it harder for myself. Amazing. Oh, don't make it too easy for myself. There we go. I believe that I read somewhere it might be possible that there is a little glitch in this game which makes it possible to score all the way in the corner, even though there might be a bet there. So I think it might be possible to still score even if this thing is all the way up. I just gotta figure out how to actually get it all the way in the corner. And I haven't tested this, so I might be wrong about this. And this might have only been a thing in like the original Pong. Alright. I'll figure this out eventually. How will I confirm this rumor that I can score points all the way in the diagonals? No, that's not what I meant to do. No, a little bit higher. This is like watching watching a DVD logo go across the screen and wanting it to hit the diagonal. Only I control the DVD logo. And it's freaking hard. Nope. It might have been the diagonal. I don't think it was. I guess you can hear it. If you hear 2 beeps, it means it didn't hit the diagonal. Not the diagonal. The corner. What am I saying? I need to get it diagonally into the corner. Oh, no, wait. If I hear 2 beeps, it doesn't... If I hear 1 beep, it doesn't necessarily mean I hit the corner. Because it can also just bounce back. Oh, the feed cut out again. I can't make my bat bigger. I can make this bat bigger and smaller when I'm playing against. Actually, you can't see it right now because the feed is restarting. I can't see it myself either. I have an alternative setup where I can actually probably continue to see the feed myself when it cuts out on stream. Alright.
Somewhat.
There's the feed again. It seems to be glitching. Uh-oh. Well, oh, there we go. So I can make the right bet bigger, but not the left bet. But there is other game modes. There is a lot of Pong clones, and on some of them you can change the bat size, and some of them you can change the angles, or the number of bats, or the ball speed, or stuff like that. Even Pong itself isn't technically original. because the person who was in charge of Atari, one of the founders of Atari. Oh, there we go. I think his name is Nolan Bushnell. Yeah, Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney founded Atari back in the 60s, and their first employee was a man called Al Elkhorn. And as his first project for the company, basically, he was asked to develop Pong, basically, because Bushnell had seen a demonstration of the Magnavox Odyssey, which is a game console which is even older than this one. It's like the first commercially sold game console, and it had a bunch of like sports games like Pong and like tennis and other things like that, which are similar to this one, but they didn't become quite as big hits as Pong. So basically, Bushnell asked Elkhorn to go create Pong as a demo project, and he did so, and it became an actual product rather than just a demo project. Alright, well, I see Luke has headed off. I'll see you next time, I suppose. But yeah, it was still derived from the tennis game from the Magnavox Odyssey. There was even a lawsuit about this, and I think Atari had to. There was something about licenses. Had to license the game via Magnavox, I think. So yeah, this isn't the original Pong game actually. It is Pong, but there was an earlier tennis game which did the same, which was on the Magnavox Odyssey. But that one didn't get as popular. And then of course there's many more clones that came out all over the place because there wasn't any legal precedent, so people could just copy it whenever they wanted to. And to combat that, they developed sequels to make people buy the official Atari product. And I even I know there's a video on YouTube that's like an old ad for the Atari Super Pong console, and it's funny to see how much it bashes on like all the clones and unofficial consoles that were derived from Pong. The whole thing was, I want an official Atari Pong. It's a funny license in retrospect, or a funny advertisement in retrospect.
The situation of I didn't have an Atari. We have an Atari at home, but then
basically, yeah. I guess I'm just kind of mindlessly playing at this point. And I've decided to subconsciously switch to Super Pong because, of course, it's way more interesting than the original Pong. It's got a whole another bat, you know? Makes for so many more interesting situations. Oh. Yep, and if you paid attention earlier in the stream, you can now know that Ramiro is in fact my dad. If you connect the dots. But I've just laid it out.
identity theft incoming.
Let's see. Let's go practice a bit on solitaire. Let's start by 3/4 and see if I did 3/4 last time. I can go like 7/8 or something. See if I can win a round like this. It's gonna be hard. There we go. I'll just do that 14 more times. And if I really want to become a pro at this, I should be able to beat this 15-0, of course. Ideally, I score a point as early as possible because the longer it goes on for, the faster it goes. Or at least it speeds up twice. And when it's sped up, it's harder. But apparently it's also hard when it's not sped up. This might prove to be a challenge. There we go. It seems to have cut out again.
Working on it. Put a text behind it saying working on it.
Yeah, probably. Don't know how well you can hear Ryan in the stream. Half. Right.
Well, half your thing. So.
Oh, half the volume, not half the words. Unfortunately, I can also not see the thing at the time, so I'm now behind quite a bit, I think. Only 1 point behind. I should be able to do this. Nice. Oh. That's too steep. That's too sharp of an angle. Now, these early streams might not be very interesting because the games are very simple. But hopefully the interestingness will increase the longer we go for. Although Pong is a very fun game to play as well. And I do plan to play it with other people, which might add another aspect to it. The next game will be Breakout. I already have an Atari 2600. We still got to modify it the same way we modified the Pong console so we can actually stream it. And I just ordered the game yesterday, so it should arrive in a week or two. Probably earlier. So I almost have the next game lined up now. And I also already ordered some more Atari games for in the future. So that's nice. The thing that's going to be more difficult to set up it's going to be an 8-bit computer like a Commodore 64. Those are quite expensive to get nowadays. But I do want to play Zork, which is a famous text-based adventure. But first, Breakout and also Space Invaders. And all of that still after Pong, obviously. So yeah, I don't know how much I explained at the start of the stream, but I am planning to go through all popular retro games in their chronological order of release. So it'll be a while before you see me play modern games, you know. Even if I can make this like a full-time thing, it'll take me a few years to get through the decades of games that I want to play. I have a whole spreadsheet ready. It's not done yet, but all the early games are in there. I'm gonna lose. No. Well, I blame the game cutting out. It's not my fault, obviously. I can do no wrong.
Blame the controller.
Yeah, controller sucks. Yeah, absolutely. No, actually, the controls are very smooth. The stream is a little bit glitchy. The actual footage that I'm seeing in front of me is smoother than the stream itself, I'm afraid.
The stream is pretty smooth, though.
Okay. Or maybe it's just the feedback that I'm seeing on OBS then. I lost my train of thought. I can see the time that I've gone for. I am planning to play this for 2 hours. Maybe part of that will just be grinding a bit, which is weird to say for a game like Pong, but I do want to get somewhat better at it. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on the chats. If there's any interesting conversations coming up, I'll indulge you. And obviously I'm new to streaming, so I'm bound to make mistakes and things aren't gonna go very smoothly, but... Ah, I see. Thanks for the follow, Katja. There. Alright. Round 2. I almost beat it last round, so I should be able to do this. Or not. I wonder if there's any specific techniques that have been discovered over the years. I should read up on that a little bit maybe before next stream. To see if there's any like specific strategies I can apply.
Or not, if you're gonna do versus another player and give yourself an unfair advantage.
That is true, that is true. Maybe for the first multiplayer stream I'll not read up on that yet, and then do that after, build up my skill and see if I can beat them the second time. Well, either they beat me the first time and I beat them the second time, or I just beat them more the second time, hopefully. Oh no.
Oh, signal's out.
I see that. I'm gonna lose so badly now because the thing's gonna cut out. I should have... So the setup I got is pretty complicated. Like, for now, the Pong console obviously has the AV video mod. Then it's plugged into an AV to HDMI converter.
If you want, I can take this camera loose and I can show.
Yeah, sure, you can show it off a bit while I explain. I was getting to a point, but I feel like I'll lose track of that point, but in that case, I'll just explain the setup.
You were talking about the setup and how it's complicated, and you have a way to avoid cutting it out.
Yeah. Alright, so right now the way it's set up is we have the console here, which has an AV video mod. So the AV video goes out into an AV to HDMI thingamajig over here. That one goes out into the Elgato game capture that I have, which then takes an HDMI in and converts it to a USB, which can then be fed into the PC. But it also has an HDMI out, which is then plugged in directly into the TV here, so I can actually see the footage myself. Now, I also have an older TV, which originally worked with the old RF signal that the Pong console outputted. But unfortunately, with the AV video mod, there is no input to make that work, and the only way to really stream it is to film it directly, which I can give a shot later with another Pong clone console that I got earlier. I can show that off maybe. Anyway, so yeah, from the Elgato it feeds into to a USB hub, which then feeds into the PC, and then we set it up in OBS, which took quite a while to figure out.
Yeah.
Also, the signal's gone again. Could you maybe?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
And then you were gonna say something about how you could fix it.
Yeah. So an alternative way is to not feed the signal through an AV to HDMI converter, because the Elgato game capture device also has an AV input. So I can feed it straight into there and split it off just before that and feed the AV into the TV, which and I've tried both signals. I don't think there's a lot of difference between the two signals, but it does mean that the TV output that I see doesn't go through the Elgato. So when it disconnects and reconnects, I can still see the TV, although the stream can't. But at least I won't lose points while doing so. So for next stream, I might set that up, because I got an AV splitter and everything. It might be a slightly less crisp signal, but I didn't notice a lot of difference, because the AV to HDMI thing is also an upscaler, so it scales up to like 1080p, whereas I think Pong is in 640p. I'm not sure, but I don't think you'll really notice. Graphics aren't that amazing of this game. I don't think you'll notice an increase in resolution so much.
Trying to get the signal back, by the way, but it's being annoying.
I wish I could pause this game, but no, you can't. Not these early games. I can get it into a locking pattern though, while we wait for the signal to get back.
It keeps dropping out. Gonna give it a second here.
Well, the sound, I can turn it off, but then I'll have to turn off the console. Or I can turn the microphone away from the sound a bit more. You'll just hear me, and you'll hear the sound quietly in the background. We should get the game back any second now, hopefully. But obviously there's gonna be technical difficulties, because we are dealing with old retro games, and I'm still quite inexperienced with all the technical aspects. That was very interesting. Took a while to set this all up, and things are a lot better than they used to be. It took a while to figure out how to even capture the game in the first place. But unfortunately, it does cut out every now and then. Might be able to fix that with a newer Elgato. Might be worth a shot at some point. But for now, we'll have to deal with this. On our test streams, we were able to get it back in like 10 or 20 seconds. But apparently it's not detecting the signal right now. I could turn off and on the game again.
Yeah, let's try that.
Look, the sound is gone. You're not hearing the sound anymore, but unfortunately you're gonna have to hear the sound again, because
That's the downside of an old console. It doesn't even have a sound button.
nope. The clone that I have, the European clone that I got, does have a sound button, so we can play the clone at some point. Though that one doesn't have an AV video mod, so I can't play it on this TV. I can't stream it directly, so we'll have to film it with the camera or something.
I'm still not getting signal. Could you replug the USB for Elgato?
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
This is such an exhilarating thing to watch. Just watch technical issues.
We expected as much.
Yeah, it would happen.
It went well for like 45 minutes,
Yeah, that's true.
which is nice. I was planning to stream for 2 hours, but if it really gets too tedious, I might cut it off a bit early. But we'll see about that. What I should really get is some spare batteries for this console, because this console isn't powered directly, but I think it has 6 big D-cell batteries, and they last a long while. But I've also been using this console for testing purposes and testing the stream and just testing the feed and everything. Also for a few months at this point, so the batteries might run out at some point, and I don't have any spare batteries currently. Now the console's on.
Okay, that is somewhat required to make it work.
That is true. The brightness on the TV seems to be different.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Which is interesting, I don't know.
I think this happened because you were pulling on the AV thing. I think something might be wrong with the AV switcher.
Alright, let's see.
There you go.
Right.
That now hopefully.
At least the signal on the TV is better now. I guess we could temporarily point the camera at the.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
At the game while Ryan maybe looks into Elgato things. Ooh, that's very zoomed in.
Yeah. Just making it focused. Give me a second. Okay, we'll just deal with this until we get everything working, but it's very small now.
That is true. We could maybe switch it up in OBS.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So give us half a second here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you can watch on the small screen how I'm being absolutely decimated in solitaire again. I'll win this eventually. Just you wait. Oh, so close.
So, let me see if I do this correctly. Yeah, that's the transition, but then we go to this one. What is that? Transition. Correct. There we go. Okay, now I got the right one. We can grab the.
Right. Aim it right there. There we go. Nice.
There we go.
Now you can see the camera on the big screen, or haven't you transitioned yet?
I have.
Nice.
There's just an empty black box in the bottom now.
Well, that's fine.
And then in the meantime, I'll see if I can fix the thing.
Yeah. See if you catch the signal on the HD capture itself, on the other program. Alright. I'm actually ahead right now.
Oh, got its own software, right?
Yep. I think it's just called game capture.
Okay. It's
I'll...
just saying it's being used by a different application.
Alright, deactivate it here, I suppose. In OBS.
Yeah, I'm trying, but then it still thinks so because of different layers.
Right.
I can't shut down OBS, obviously.
Well, since we are going for an hour now, we could take a short break and try to fix this and be back in hopefully 10 minutes.
Let's see if this works, what I've done now, and otherwise...
Yeah. I can get a drink. Anyone watching can get a drink, although, you know, feel free to get a drink anytime. Although I do want to finish this round, and after that, we can take a break. Alright, just aim it. Ah, so close. Alright, a little bit higher. Ah. Oh, that's also possible. Although the batteries do last a very long while, but it would be unfortunate to have to get new batteries, because they are quite expensive. I think. Alright. You see, I am getting overconfident. I was like, I'm like 2 points ahead, I can actually do this. I am getting better at this, but now I'm not so sure anymore. Just slightly up. There we go. See, that seems to be the trick to it. To get it into a locking pattern high up, and then wait for it to speed up, because if it speeds up, the angles will be more shallow. So then you can go slightly up, and you can score a point. I am planning on streaming every week. Probably Friday evenings. This is an exception because I needed some more time to prepare. And probably stream for 2 hours on average. And we'll see how many streams I can do on Pong before it gets too tedious. And hopefully by the time that it does, I have the next game ready and set up, and we can play some Breakout, which essentially is just Pong, but flip 90 degrees and you get to break stuff. So yeah, I already uploaded a streaming schedule on Twitch, so you can see that I have planned in a regular stream at Friday evening, I think at 7:30 p.m. Dutch time, UTC +1. So that should all be ready. Alright, one more point. Just take my time, carefully, maneuver it up. That's unfortunate. Alright. I didn't mean to do that. I meant it to go horizontally. There we go. I won a game of solitaire. 15-11. So I am improving, I think. I don't know. Might just be a fluke, but we'll see. Yeah. I think we'll take a short break and see if we can fix the issue. So be back probably in like 10 minutes. See you then.
I don't have the exact dimensions. I had to fit it in, and I did it mostly manually. And I went to like the
Now it's all screwed up.
properties and increased it pixel by pixel. So I didn't
got it,
write
I got
down the dimensions.
I got it.
You want to drink as well? Or no?
Yeah, sure.
I'm guessing that glass is mine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Here you
I think there's still some glass that goes downstairs. What do you want?
go. Some Fanta. You're giving 1 moment, please.
Not up yet.
That we can't do without stopping the stream. Oh, audio's back. Hello. Everybody can hear us now.